All right, guys, we got a problem we got to talk about here today in today's video. For the future upcoming games of BDSP, I'm not saying the full names. BDSP just rolls the tongue right. Guys, there's been this problem that everyone talks about Generation 4 games, the Sinnoh games specifically, about the lack of fire types, and I'm here to tell you why it's not that serious, all right? Fire type fans will probably disagree with me in the comment section, but it's not that deep, it's not that serious, it's not a necessity for a typing at all. You can play any Pokemon game, yes, any Pokemon game without ever using a fire type. You never need one ever, and we're gonna stand. I'm gonna tell you why. Leave a like if you agree. Whatever, dude. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Let's just jump right in with it. Here's the Sinnoh decks, guys. Here's literally every model you can find within the Sinnoh decks. This is for Platinum, by the way, as well, too. But this is the Platinum Sinnoh decks. I don't know if BDSP is going to be exactly like that. The only reason why I feel like it is because we saw Porygon Z, which is shown, and you don't find Porygon Z till way later down in Pearl versus Platinum. Also, the same time as well, too, with the Shaman thing. That was there pretty early on. So, hey, I don't know. There could be some maybe middle ground stuff, but here's the entire decks, right? Obviously, the meme is you have Infernape and Ponyta. I think I could be wrong, but we're gonna look, right? The Infernape line. If you don't choose Infernape, I really feel like you should not complain about fire types. You know what I mean? You chose not to choose the fire type, the best one. You know what I mean, man? So let's look into deeper into it. Let me just not be an ass. Let's look deeper into it, right? Okay, as you can see, still no fire types. We're deep in right now. Here's the fossils. Here's a Machamp. Here's a Golduck. We don't talk about Burmy and Wormadam. Botham's cool. We don't talk about those, right? If you keep scrolling on, you see there's no fire types. I mean, Hot Stroke gets Heat Wave, but there's no fire types. You know what I mean? People don't even want fire moves. They want fire to stab. I respect that, but there is no fire types. Look at it. Boom. Rapidash. Keep scrolling down. I think I was right. It's only Infernape and Rapidash. You keep scrolling down, and yeah, no, not. Oh, well, there's Flareon. There's Flareon. Platinum gave us Flareon. There's Flareon. You can find it in the what is it, behind this trophy garden. There's Houndoom. So that's 4. We have 4 so far, guys, that people keep talking about the lack of. Right. Let's keep going. We have 5. That's 5. Yep. There's 5 total fire types in the entire game, and out of those 5 total fire types, let's just say you don't choose Infernape. Okay, if you don't choose Infernape, you have the choice between getting 2 fire types, because you don't find Magby and Magmortar till like late. Let's actually look at it. I'm pretty sure it's like you don't find them till late. You find them in Platinum. You breed Magmar. So you click Magmar now, and in Platinum, you find it in the Fuego Ironworks, which is pretty late in the game. And by late in the game, I should say later in the game, because you're like high 20s, low 30s, right? So later. So roughly speaking here, about these levels, you don't even really face gym leaders that lose the fire types outside of like Eternal City's Gardenia. But who didn't choose Staraptor? You know what I mean? Free as absolute dog, man. If you chose Piplup, I'm sorry, but you need Staraptor against Gardenia. You really do, right? And we're gonna talk about that later. But so out of all the fire types, right, I'm pretty sure the only one you can get semi-early, I'm almost positive, is the Ponyta. I'm actually almost, we're gonna look it up right now. I'm actually almost positive it is the Ponyta if you don't include the Infernape, right? Because you get Ponyta at about Route 206, 207, 210, and South. So if you click this, yeah, you can get Ponyta pretty early on within the game. Route 206, level 16, a lot earlier than high 20s when you're in the teens here. So this is literally once you get like a fully, like not even a fully, but you're started to the second stage. You know what I mean? So that's at least better than getting a Magmar. But the difference though is that Ponyta sucks. Yes, I know the mon sucks. Guys, you didn't know? Now you know. Ponyta and Rapidash are dog. These mons are not good. Look at the overall stat. You have 105 speed, 100 attack. That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Everything else, though, yikes. And it being pure fire only. Fun fact, most fire types that are actually really good require a second typing, or they fall underneath the Darmanitan line where they're just bullshit. You know what I mean? Like where Darmanitan just hits so hard. Like you know, all the very good viable fire types. We have Heatran, Victini, Volcarona, you know what I mean? Hell, even Charizard with heavy duty boots, you know what I mean, man? Like most fire types, even Reshiram, like they have a secondary typing that really benefits because pure fire isn't really that good of a typing. So if you choose Infernape, you can get 2 total fire types. at least early in the game. If you don't choose Infernape, you're really only getting one. The Flareon at the back of Trophy Garden, you got to get a Firestone, and I can't even tell you where to get a Firestone in this game. Like, I cannot. I know you get this at the Trophy Garden. BB also gives it to you in Ardham City. So, I mean, if you get a Firestone, like, immediately you're chilling. Yeah, level 16. So you get it as early as Ponyta. I can't tell you where to get a Firestone in Platinum. Let's find out. The location to get a Firestone in Platinum, Fuego Ironworks, Solaceon Ruins with Dowsing Machine. So it's Stark Mountain's postgame. So if you really care about getting a Flareon, you gotta commit to Solaceon Ruins, the Dowsing Machine, because Fuego Ironworks is a little later in the game. You could get to it if you really care, but it's a little later in the game. And 9 times out of 10, people were not using Flareon because Flareon is bad too. I mean, Flareon did not get good up until Gen 6. When it got Flare Blitz. Otherwise, the mod is just not good. I'm telling you this as Flareon being one of my top 3 evolutions. Guys, it's not good. It's not. It's not good at all. So here's a little forum boards, kind of old here, back in the day in 2012 that I found, where people are actually complaining still. So just to kind of reiterate it, guys, this is not like old. This is not like brand new complaints. This post was made back in 2012. Right? Almost 10 years ago, people are saying the exact same stuff they are now 10 years ago. So it's been non-stop complaints for 10 straight years, and it's a little concerning. I see both sides, right? On one, you want to use a fire type, but on the other, you don't need a fire type though. Like, they try and make it seem like it's an actual criticism on why not only the generation is bad, the region is bad, but the games are bad. Yes, people actually say this, but you don't need it. This guy says, what are your opinion of this? Were you disappointed? Do you enjoy using fire types? And therefore, without many, did you find yourself not enjoying the game as much as you think? See, people actually did not enjoy the game because there's no fire types. See, you might have, if there were more fire types, perhaps you like the scarcity. If you have introduced more fire types into the game, which one would you add? Where do you think they, like, I listen, I get it. If you say that, oh, well, you know, I don't like that there's not that many fire types, it's no big deal. Sure, dude. But if you're like this guy, where you quite literally do not like the region, you do not like the games, your interest in fun is gone because one single typing is almost non-existent, I think that's lame. I actually do think that's lame, and here's why. Here's why. We're gonna look into this. This guy said it wasn't so much the lack of fire types in Sinnoh, it's the lack of fire types introduced in Sinnoh. I mean, does it matter? Of which there is one new string Chimchar or new Evil Magmortar, in fact, to struggle to find a fire. That's actually true. I didn't actually make that point. That's true. That's actually true because the only brand new fire types we got is Infernape and Magmortar. That is the only one. And even then, I will tell you right now, I like Magmar, I like Magby. Magmortar is a downgrade for me. He is. He's actually, anybody else? Because he is an actual downgrade. You know what I mean? In comparison to goats like Mamoswine, Goat, you know what I mean? Frostlass, Goat, the random Absol. I mean, he's that disaster, man. So being near a ghost type, which is essentially dead, and then being near the actual devil himself, like, hey, man, I don't know. But, I mean, I guess it's a point where they barely introduce any brand new fire types, but I don't really think that's a problem. I guess the reason why Sinnoh lack fire types is because Sinnoh is a cold region, so there's not much warm areas of fire types. That's fair, right? It's a very mountainous, cold region. I was disappointed when I heard Chimchar Ponyta were the only fire types available in Diamond and Pearl, which is probably why they added more fire types. In Platinum, they did. They also made me always pick Chimchar, and this also made me always pick Chimchar in every playthrough of Diamond and Pearl, just because I hate Ponyta's terrible move pool. That's true. The level up is also bad. You have to consider that. Back in the game, back in the gens, older gen level ups, awful. Like new gen level ups, that's the thing people don't give a lot of credit for when it comes to the newer games, guys. New gen level ups, actually really good, you know, especially for like Stone Evo mods. Back in the day, they were bad. In Diamond and Pearl, Flimsy was a joke. They gave him 2 fire types, Rapidash and Fernape, and then all these random Pokemon, Sturks, Lopunny, Drifblim. Yeah, I mean, this is an actual criticism. I don't think having no fire types is that deep, but why make a fire elite for it? You know what I mean? Like, and like the point is too, is Flint's mainly move based. She's a fire type specialist, so Steelix, Lopunny, and Drifblim are all have fire moves. I know it's stupid, I know it is, but he's a specialist, so. But yeah, we're actually gonna talk about that right now with Flint. Before we move on though, like, it's been problems for literally 10 straight years, guys. Please don't be like this guy. I really don't, I'm gonna go deep into it, guys. It's not that big of a deal. You don't need fire types. Or actually, fun fact, the typing's not even that good. Fun fact, the typing is not even that good. It's really not. in comparison to like water, psychic, ground. It's really not even that good. We're gonna go into it, guys. So this is Flint's Diamond and Pearl team. Rapidash, Steelix, Drifblim, Lopunny, and Fernape. I understand why people are pissed because they don't want a guy who is a fire Elite Four when he has 3 Pokemon that are not fires, but their excuse on why he has them is, hey, they at least have fire moves. You know what I mean? At least 2 out of the 3 do have 2 fire moves, and Drifblim is just chilling. There's a new ability that Drifblim gets, though, which it was called, what the heck was it called? Flare Boost. Flare Boost? Boost. It's Flare Boost, which I think that I got introduced not even to this generation. I'm pretty sure it's a Gen 5 thing, right? Yep, it is a Gen 5 thing, okay. Yep, and then they actually did fix it in Pokemon Platinum, where he does have all fire types. So I feel like the argument is gone. You know what I mean? I feel like, plus, nobody plays Diamond and Pearl anymore. I'm not even being mean, but I a little bit am. I'm telling you, as a major Sinnoh fan, Diamond and Pearl are very mediocre games. You know what I mean? They're just... How do you plan on playing the game when the experience is running at 2 frames a second? Like, the game's so slow. You know what I mean? You're not fully experiencing the game. So... Platinum is the way to go. I don't think anyone disagrees. Platinum is the way to go. And they did fix this problem. So the 10 straight year complaints of making a fire type Elite Four with no fire types, dead. Dead. You want to talk about the scarcity of fire types in the region? Pop off. But to say that the fire type Elite Four is a joke because there's no fire types? Wrong. They heard the complaints. They fixed it. It's dead. It's dead. Like, it no longer exists. Plus, I thought it was really cool how they gave him a starter Pokemon. You don't really see many like other characters within the games that are obviously not NPCs. Some trainer NPCs like in Gold and Silver had like a Bulbasaur and Ivysaur representation. But, I mean, like, you don't really see it. You know what I mean? It's kind of rare. So I thought it was kind of cool they gave him Fernape. Obviously, they did it because there's barely any fire types. All 5 of these fire types are the only ones you could find in the entire game. So Flint's like, hey, you want a fire type? Pick one, because these are the only ones you get. Like, not even kidding. But no, this is a solid team. You know what I mean? It's actually a big upgrade from his previous team. I mean, Lopunny's kind of a shitmon. So, it wasn't even clutch too. It was Cute Charm, which is just annoying. Because if you have Fernape, when you close combat it, you're falling in love. If it lives. But, and that's if it lives. But, I mean, again, like I said, they fixed the problem with Flint, so I gotta respect it. 2 thumbs up. I did think it was a little cringe that they didn't have this initially. They should have been a team initially, but we just gonna ignore and pretend this team doesn't exist because barely anybody goes back and plays this. Plus, he has a battleground team as well, too, which is just buffed. Young Flint and his Chimchar. My boy, man. That's my boy, bro. That's my boy, Flint, man. That's my goat. My man with the fro, man. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. But yeah, even in the manga, like, he had these mons, you know what I mean? So, Felix is mentioned. He's mentioned. Cool. But, yeah, you know, Flint, his team was definitely fixed up. So, Pog for him. You know what I mean? And then also a big thing we're going to go into right now is all the gym leaders. I'm going to tell you why you actually don't need a fire type. Look at this. Fire type. You don't need it. I mean, this is his battleground team. We don't talk about this. But fire types right now, you literally don't need it because these first 3 mons, they get washed from Inferno. I'm not even kidding. They get literally waxed on Inferno. And if you don't use Inferno, right, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people would end up, they would end up using a Badoo. I'm not kidding. I used a Badoo to at least sponge it, you know, die, and then bring out your Monferno. You know what I mean? Badoo does really good against all 3 of these mods. Crazy that I'm saying this, right? But yeah, I just feel like people complain about this because we were kids, but it's a little concerning because as grown men, people are still complaining about this. We are adults. It's not that serious. Anyways, guys, going to Gardenia, I don't even tell you. You want to use the fire type, go ahead. Everyone and their mother used Staravia. Everyone and their mother used, what's the other mon? Like even Mothim. Mothim does fantastic in this, you know what I mean? He does great in this. You don't need a fire type. Fire type should be an option, not a need, but people treat it like a necessity, which is weird. I understand if it's your all-time favorite typing and you're a little upset that it didn't get much representation within this generation. I get that, but in full out say that the game is bad, you know what I mean? I just think that's bad, you know? I just think it's stupid to say, you know what I mean? But like I said, Mothim is great in this. Everyone in the mother chose Staravia. You get what I'm saying, dude? If you want it to be anal, a Rotom. Technically, you actually could just use a Rotom in this, which does resist their moves, which is just fantastic. Well, mainly the Roserade, which is poison. There's a bunch of other mods you could use as well, too. We could actually look at the Sinnohs and kind of just keep comparing, right? So obviously, Infernape Wax is Gardenia. We got to talk about it at all. I mean, if you want to be that guy, like Purple has Peck, but you would not want to use it up against Gardenia's Roserade. You would not. That's actually a threatening mon. Hot take, I actually think it's way more threatening than Whitney's Milk Tank. Like, that's a threatening mon. You can actually, if I'm not mistaken, get Kadabra pretty early on within the game. Let's fact check this. 215. Let's fact check this. Okay, so I lied. Why am I looking at Kadabra? Let's look at Abra. Sorry. 203. So yeah, you actually can get it pretty early within the game. This is Platinum. You can get it around 203, 50% in the morning for the level 4. Pretty early on within the game, and Psybeam just kind of waxes Gardenia. I'm not even kidding, because Turtwig is more Fizdef mon, Cherrim is an actual dog crap mon, and Rosemary gets waxed. You live any hit that Rosemary does, and it gets waxed. So there's a bunch of options you could do. Gyarados is fantastic against as well too. Golbat does fantastic. Golbat actually does a flawless work against that entire gym leader. You know what I mean? The list goes on. The list just goes on, dude. Guys, it goes on. Next gym leader we're going to look at right now is Fantina for Platinum, because for whatever reason, the 5th gym leader and the 5th gym badge slot as the 3rd gym leader, which, okay, sure, I guess you want it to glow up, right? Her team is actual dog shit. The only thing that's the 3rd is Miss Maggie. Her team is actual dog. Any 3 of the starters do fantastic against her entire team. Any 3, so you don't need a fire type for this whatsoever at all. 9 times out of 10, you can use a water type and replace it for every single thing that a fire type can use, and I'll tell you why. This, people think you need a fire type of this because of Lucario, which is weak to fire. You actually, right, what you can actually do is you end up using a Primplup in this and wax it. You know what I mean? I'm not even kidding. You can with Water Pulse. It does fantastic. Bulbabeam does great. You know what I mean, dude? You do not need a fire type for this. Everyone in the mother has Staravia, or if you want to get a Float Cell, like I said again, Kadabra waxes it. Staravia waxes this. Float Cell wax. You know what I mean? Like, it's free, dude. Again, I've yet to see where you need a fire type. Even with Gardenia, you do not need one. You do not. I don't need to talk about Rourke. Fire type bad here. Fire type very bad here. Next gym. Water gym leader. So clearly you don't need a fire type. Clearly the other 2 starters do way better in this. Torterra flawlessly works this. Picks up at the peak of 37. So at a kid at around this time or even now, you'd want to get your starter to get fully evolved. At least that's how I played the game, right? Because this is technically the 5th gym badge now, gym badge 5. So you'd want your starter to be fully evolved around this point. Torterra waxes Quagsire, waxes Float Cell. It does pretty good against Gyarados, I'm not gonna lie. Gyarados' bounce, a little scary in that as Ice Fang, but it does pretty okay against Gyarados. Don't recommend using it though, but again, like I said at this point, you probably have a Luxray. Everyone uses a Luxray too. You probably have a Luxray. Just pop off. Luxray does get Intimidate. Just literally pop off, dude. You know what I mean? No need a fire type here whatsoever at all. Gym badge 6, people think you need a fire type here. Fire type can get replaced with water type in almost every single scenario, if not every scenario. Yes, even grass types. Tell you why, right? Empoleon. Empoleon is just as good in this. F the Magneton. You take any hit Magneton does, you surf twice, it dies. Steelix, you surf, it dies. Bastiodon, you surf, it dies. You know what I mean? And Infernape obviously does fantastic at this as well, but so does Torterra. Torterra does flawlessly against it. I think that's why I love the Sinnoh starters so much, guys, because all 3 starters that I've mentioned so far do not struggle in this yet. Hell, if you really wanted to use Infernape in this, you could. Just not against the Gyarados. Gyarados definitely destroys Infernape. Unless you have T-Punch, then you're chilling. Otherwise, you know, Infernape actually does... He could do something with close combat against the other 2. You know what I mean? He most absolutely can. Gyarados probably is Intimidate as well too, which I actually don't have to add. You do not need a fire type. Some people think that you actually absolutely need a fire type when it comes to Candace, because Empoleon is... they think it's bad in this just because she has an Abomasnow, which... Let's not pretend that Empoleon is not a steel type. Empoleon waxes Abomasnow, dude. Waxes. Let's not pretend that it's not a steel type at all. You know what I mean? Because it absolutely is, and it does great against all of these guys. You surf the first 2. You quite literally can Steel Stab on Abomasnow and Steel Stab or Surf Stab Water Stab, Surf Stab, whatever, dude, on the process, and you're chilling, dude. You know what I mean? While yes, Infernape does do monstrous in this, Empoleon does better than every fire type that I mentioned that's not Infernape in this, because the rest are dog shit. No pun intended to you, Houndoom. Look at these fire types. They're not good. Flareon's ass. Rabidash's ass. Houndoom's level up is dog water. It's legit dog water, bro. I'm not kidding. It's actual dog. As this pops up, dude. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Arco level up. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You do not get a good fire move outside of Ember till level 32. 32. You're stuck with Bite till 54 for Crunch. And even then, it's physical because it's a Fizz special split in this game. Houndoom is a special attacker. Meaning you need to... He does not learn a single Wait, let's just fact check. Not a single dark special move. Yep, not one. Look at this. God awful. And Nasty Blood is a fine move at 60. You really need that early on. You know what I mean? So Flamethrower at 48, Crunch at 54, and Nasty Blood at 60. His level up is absolute dog. It's so dog, bro. And when you compare it to this, that has Sludge Bomb and Dark Pulse, it's such bait because those are TM moves. I just have so many times open. Those are TM moves, guys. TM moves. Houndoom is actually pretty decent with TMs. Otherwise, you are struggling. And don't even get me started on his move tutor moves because you don't even need Sucker Punch. He's a special attacker. Heat Wave is Pog, so you may as well take Heat Wave, but it's 90 accuracy versus Flamethrower, which is 100 accuracy and 95 power. So Flamethrower is better in every single way, shape, and form. It's just that Heat Wave does stronger damage, but I look at Flamethrower as a better move consistently because I would rather consistently hit for 95 than hit for 100 damage 90% of the time and have that 10% chance to miss. Because 90, guys, if you play Pokemon, does not actually mean 90. It means like 60. It means like actually 60. And his egg moves, well, you can egg move Nasty Plot, but that's it. That's it. The other one's not so beneficial. So like I said, they're just the fire types are absolute dog. Empoleon is nuts, dude. You know what I mean? Empoleon's an actual nuts creature. We can look at Empoleon right now, guys. I hope I'm telling you guys here right now. We can look at Empoleon right now real quick. Here's all the moves that Empoleon gets. Here's his platinum level up move pool. You know what I mean? Where they, what is it? Where it actually, unfortunately enough, does not learn a single Steel Stab, which that's what I actually really hate about Empoleon. You just like a Metal Claw for the entirety. It's a Steel type, by the way, and you don't get Flash Cannon until TM, which is really, 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 really obnoxious. All right, guys, so TM91, Flash Cannon, Byron literally gives it to you, and that's convenient because right when Byron gives it to you, you just bool out. You know what I mean? Candace is so free because then Empoleon has Flash Cannon. You're literally chilling, you're literally eating, you know what I mean? If she had a Mamoswine, that'd be really scary. I personally believe they should have given her both Weavile and Mamoswine just to represent the brand new evolutions, because they gave her kind of an ass team, because the last two are good, the first two are ass. Like, but they're not total ass, you know what I mean? They're solid. They're solid mons that definitely got a lot better in this game as well too, because Sneasel was an absolute irrelevant mon before the physical special split. And Pulsar is actually a very good mon, Gen 2, Gen 3. Very, very good mon. Starts to fall off hard here with Power Creep in Gen 4, but a very good mon in Gen 3, Gen 4, or Gen 2, Gen 3, you know what I mean? So I get why they did this. I get why, but I just wish they did this. You know what I mean? This would be nuts. These four, that'd be nuts. That would be a threat for sure. Same with giving them a Magnezone. I thought they just gave you these mons to be like, oh, hey, by the way, guys, these can evolve into new mons in these games. You know what I mean? Like Crasher Wake, they only give him one new mon, which is fine, you know what I mean, which is fine. His ace is the new mon, her ace is the new mon, her ace is the new mon, you know what I mean? The aces are new mons, our entire team is brand new, and unfortunately, he's Brock. Okay, so on further recommendations, guys, no, they could not, because they would have given him Rhyperior, or Probo. So anyways, guys, like I'm saying so far, like, again, like my whole point is that you literally do not need a fire type. You're chilling off the banked fact that fire type is extremely overrated. Everything the fire type is super effective against, you quite literally don't need, and I'll tell you right now, watch. I'll tell you actually right now. We'll look at this right now, guys. So here's a typing chart, guys, to look at all the fire types and what fire is strong against. Fire is strong against grass, ice, bug, and steel, and it's not very effective on fire, water, rock, and dragon. The defensive conso is that it resists itself, grass, ice, bug, steel, and fairy. We're not gonna really just talk about the fairy because it's obviously Gen 4, and it's, you know, what beats it is obviously water, ground, and rock. A big reason why this is important is water types are very, very, very common. You will find them almost everywhere, almost every NPC, almost every, you know what I mean? Like, they're very, very common. When you're dealt with the fire types you actually have, we look at the Flint list again. When you're dealt with these fire types of platinum that you have, you know what I mean? They're not really that good against these typings that I just talked about. You know what I mean? I can't even tell you if Houndoom got grassed on in this generation or not. But even then, that doesn't really stop almost everything because it's weight affected. Magmortar gets T-Bolt, but again, you kind of get Magmortar way later on in the game. I'm actually pretty sure within all these mons right now, Magmortar, you actually get the latest, so you can just scratch him off the list because you get him the latest in the game, so it just doesn't even really matter at all, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I'm saying, here's a type of chart to look at everything to more like a detailed feature. So, yep. 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 Wow, dude. Like, I can't even tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, fire typing right now, everything that it's strong against, water type, right? Tell you what, surf, boom, surf, boom, surf, boom. Like, surf is one of the greatest moves within the game, gameplay-wise, even competitive-wise, but it, like, at least singles, right? Doubles, it just gets cut, right? But surf is a very, very, very good moves, guys. It's a very good move. Empoleon is a very good mon. Gyarados, very good mon. Floatzel playthrough-wise, very good mon. And most water types learn ice moves. So you actually can use water types against grass types, especially Empoleon, who is neutral. Empoleon, guys, is neutral. He is neutral to grass ×1, whereas Prinplup ×2 because he's a pure water versus steel. So I'm just jerking off Empoleon here, guys, but it really is such a fantastic mon. Plus the sprite work got way better in Platinum. This looked rough, you know what I mean? Oh, it didn't look rough, but you know what I mean? This looks way more cold. It looks way more cold, you know what I mean? So Empoleon, yeah, I mean, it gets an added increase into its weakness to ground, but it beats ground with 2 moves being ice move and water to stab, right? Plus, Empoleon is very tanky. I mean, look at this mon stats. You're really not down like that. 84 huge is fantastic. 88 defense and 101 speed depth. Very bulky mon, dude. Very bulky mon with 111 special attack. You know what I mean? Known to be killed to 86, but it's not absolute garbage. If you wanted to, sure, I don't recommend it. It's not absolute garbage. Something's there. Something's there. But the 111 is definitely not bad. Pretty spicy. It peaks at 353, 331 at max peak for speed dev, and 372 max peak on HP. Beneficial nature, max stats. So this guy is just very, very tanky. So you can never count Empoleon out. This guy will never get one-tapped. And when you look at everything that's here, it's actually weak to fire. And fire actually loses to. Fire loses to water, ground, and rock. Empoleon literally takes on all 3. It resists water types. It also resists ice moves. So when water types have ice moves, it resists that as well too, right? Obviously, they also resist your water and your steel stabs, but you'll end up winning the 1v1 eventually, you know what I mean? Versus an Infernape, which, you know, depending on the water type, will probably end up doing better than Empoleon because he's got close combat, fighting stab. Another copy for another day, right? Ground and rock, though, free. Infernape definitely does good against him as well too for ground and rock. I'm not gonna lie to you, but Empoleon is definitely more consistent. Definitely more consistent, you know what I mean? The ground, you have a better chance of taking than the Infernape, but you can also just argue, well, Infernape is faster and stronger, so all you have to do is just outspeed and one-tap, but it's a mon called Hippowdon. There's a mon called Hippowdon that Empoleon definitely takes way better on than Infernape. You could just debate grass, not... Infernape is nuts, but in the plethora of fire types, guys, look at these fucks. You're, come on. Come on, man. My whole point into those guys is that fire types are not a necessity. This video is kind of dragged out. They're not a necessity as much as you think. It's an extremely overrated typing. Infernape is carried off the fact of his stats and his secondary typing. You know what I mean? The other 3 have dog level ups, absolute dog can level ups. Some have alright TMs, but dog can level ups. Rapidash and Flareon are just trash. Houndoom gets better with TMs, so does Magmortar, but these 2 are trash. Like, you look at this, and it's like, dude, they came to stop Infernape because they have Gliscor, which is just really good against Infernape, you know what I mean? Same with Hippo, but Infernape has Grass Knot for these 3, so just slap on Grass Knot, you know what I mean? My point is, though, guys, is that you do not need a fire type. You can get through the entire Elite Four with a water type, a very good water type. Empoleon does great against this. Torterra does fantastic against Flint. You believe it or not, he actually does. Because Torterra is also really tanky. He does not get one-tapped. Unless it's Sunny Day, then you're done. Then you're done. Torterra whacks his birth. Are you kidding me? And then Aaron, I would not recommend using Torterra at all. Probably against Drapion, probably against Scizor, and I don't recommend the rest because the rest actually destroy Empoleon or Torterra, sorry. But my whole point is, though, is that you guys do not need a a fire type. The last type I wanted to talk about is a champion. Where fun fact, I'm pretty sure Torterra actually does fantastic against all of this. The only one that gives Torterra a run for his money is Togekiss. Otherwise, Torterra does fantastic against Roserade, fantastic against Lucario, fantastic against Milotic, which does have Ice Beam. You could probably still be Yachi Berry on, but he does great against it. I mean, if you're going into it as a complete casual and you don't have Yachi Berry, then yeah, you probably could sub it to your Luxray. But either way, you know what I mean? Like, my man does actually do really good against it. Garchomp, he's really tanky. You know what I mean, dude? He's neutral. He actually resists the ground stab. The dragon stab is going to be obnoxious, but he doesn't resist the ground stab, so that's 1 out of the 2 in comparison to Empoleon and Infernape, which do actually end up losing really hard against Garchomp. Empoleon actually doing better than Infernape against Garchomp because Ice Beam, and then Infernape, well, don't use Infernape against Garchomp. Just don't. I'm sorry, Infernape fans, just don't. Anyways, though, guys, my point is you literally don't need fire types. I think it's extremely overrated typing. Let me know what you guys think. Fire type fans, I'm sorry y'all gonna hate me for this, but it's true. You can use so many other things that don't require fire types. I mean, I hear you though, when you want more fire types, more new fire types specifically, I hear you. And I guess that does suck. I think it's a valid criticism to say that we didn't get enough new fire types, but to complain about the scarcity of the fire types and say that the game is bad because there's no fire types, not it for me, boys. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think BDSP is going to add more fire types? Because I do think that they are. I actually do. And if they don't, that'd be weird, right? But I do. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all